Hello everybody, I'm going to give all of you a chance to get on here real quick. I am visiting with Ben Felder, who was previously with the Gazette. Ben, you are just an amazing writer and reporter there at the Gazette. Always had a great deal of respect for your work. Always wished we could have been on the same team.
I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
And your passion for the community and for schools especially really came out in your work.
Thank you.
Before we talk about Partners in Action real quick, explain to me why you had this passion in schools and what was going on.
Well, that could be a long story, but make it real quick. So I grew up in public schools. I grew up in a diverse community in Kansas City. And this was during an era like a lot of American cities, especially in middle America, where you saw a lot of the exodus of more affluent communities that were kind of abandoning the kind of urban school system. And, without getting into too many details, that really kind of shaped my view on education as I kind of saw my friends from school and from church that were kind of leaving the community, and they were doing it because of schools. They were claiming that it was because of schools, and I really appreciated my school, where I was at and the classes I was taking and the community that I was in. And so I really kind of had to think, I was like, why are they leaving? Why is this reason? Why are they leaving because of the schools? And what impact is this having on the education situation here? And so I just, from that early day, education always kind of struck me as a topic that I was really fascinated in. And I'm really passionate about community, really curious about communities and cities. And I really believe that there's no better way to understand a city than to understand its school system. We say, if you want to know what Oklahoma City is, you can go to a Thunder game, or, you can go to H&H, and I think some of those things are true. But man, if you step inside one of our schools, I think you're going to learn really quickly, what Oklahoma City is.
And there's a lot of assumptions made. I did some volunteer work at Emerson Alternative School, and some people think, oh, those are thugs. You can't go in there and volunteer. And those are sweet kids. No. They're just unfortunate enough not to have the safety nets that some other people have.
Yeah, if you look at some of the alternative schools, in all schools really, but some of the alternative schools like Emerson, and across the city, these are sharp kids. These are hard-working kids that have had to, I go through things in a week that I haven't had to go through at all in my entire life. And if they're given the opportunity, the chance, what they're going to be able to do, how they're going to be able to grow our city, it's phenomenal.
Now, one thing that I've observed through my experience and talking to others is it's not easy trying to figure out what we can do to help Oklahoma City Public Schools. I did a video across the street with, of Henry, and he just goes out with a broom and a scoop, and he can just go and help every day. But with public schools, it's not that easy.
Yeah, it is tough. We know some simple ways that we all kind of got together and said, hey, how can we help our schools? Some simple things come to mind. There's things like coat drives, or maybe doing a cleanup day to school, and those things are really important. They're great and they're needed and they make a big difference. So we don't want to see people stop doing that. But you're right, there is kind of a challenge when it comes to how do we make meaningful impacts in our local schools. We know what some of the challenges are, especially over the last year. The district has completed its strategic plan. It's identified its pillars. As a community, we've come together and we've said this is what we want to measure success on. Here are our major challenges. So when it comes to literacy rates and issues of poverty, how do we make a meaningful impact? And so one of my roles at the Foundation for Oklahoma City Public Schools is working with the district and launching this new initiative called Partners in Action. And that is the goal, is finding ways to connect community partners with schools in very strategic and meaningful ways. And when I say community partners, I mean anything from large corporations, small businesses, churches, nonprofits, just any kind of group of people that can connect with a school in any way.
So this just started up.
So we're working on it right now. The official launch is September 24th. And I called it an initiative because it's not a, let that go by for a second. I called it an initiative because it's not really a program. There already are great examples of community partners that are doing great things in Oklahoma City Public Schools, and we want to see that increase. But yeah, the official launch is September 24th, and what we are doing is, so if you're a business right now and you want to work with a local school, and actually when I took this job, I thought the biggest challenge was going to be convincing groups and organizations that they needed to get involved. The biggest challenge I've found is that there are a lot of businesses and organizations that want to get involved, they just don't know how. Maybe they've called the school, they've talked to the principal, and they said, hey, how can we come and get involved and help? And the principal, understandably, he or she has a million things
They're
going
overwhelmed.
on. They're
overwhelmed. Look at the teacher shortage.
It's not their job to be the traffic cop for volunteers. And so really what we're doing is we're working with the district who is organizing the community partners that they already have, and then kind of defining what are the things that schools need so that when there are people that are wanting to get involved, we can direct them in a really strategic way.
Wow. So what do you envision the first efforts being next month?
Well, I mean, really, it could be anything. I mean, I really want, when I talk to businesses and community partners, I tell them, like, listen, we're not trying to force you into a specific program or a specific way to get involved. First, I want you to tell me kind of what's your vision, what's your heart for the city.
So it's a communication.
What are you passionate about? I had a conversation with, a church a couple weeks ago that said, we just really have a passion for middle schoolers. It's such a tough grade, and we know that there's, we know that they need mentorships, and they need more adults in their lives. And so, kind of, how can we plug them into a school in a meaningful way? I had a conversation with a hospice that was saying, we'd like to be able to offer grief counseling, and we don't know how that works with a school, but I was sharing with them about the school district's new discipline policy. And as they have these kids that are kind of dealing with disciplinary issues, trying to find out what's at the root of that. So maybe they lost a loved one in their life or someone close to them, and maybe they're needing some grief counseling, and that's why they're acting out in class. And so it's really kind of letting the community partners tell us, like, what's your vision, what's your passion, what do you want to be doing, and then let's find a way that connects you in a way that you're not only making a difference, but you're having a good time.
You have a website people can find out more about this?
Yes. So if you go to the district's website, which is okcps.org/partners in action, okcps.org/partners in action. If you follow the district on Twitter, or you follow the foundation on Twitter, you follow me on Twitter, especially in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be putting out a bunch of information on this. We have a big kickoff lunch September 24th, and after that, it's just going to be all hands on deck for this.
Ben, thank you very much for agreeing to some impromptu visits.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, Dave.
I always have great admiration for your passion and what you do.
Well, I appreciate it. That means a lot.
I look forward to this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.